Alright, what's going on YouTube? Hopefully you guys can hear me good. I'm going to be doing the oil change on a 2021 Yamaha MT10. This is, I think, the second oil change. I bought this last year from some dude. He had 1,200 miles on it. I took his word because I bought it at the end of the season. And he said he did the oil change, the break-in oil change. So I only put in maybe like 1,200 miles too. But so far, I just hit the 4,000 mile mark, which the manual recommends to do the oil change again. So we're gonna do that. All right, guys. So you guys can see here, got the OEM manual, engine oil change every 4,000 miles. Hopefully, you guys can see that. Engine oil filter. Says to do every at the 600 mile mark and then at the 8,000, but I'm just gonna do it at the 4,000. Not a big deal. It's always good to do the oil filter too. Oh yeah, I forgot to point out, it does say to use full synthetic 10W40, so that's what I got. With oil filter, it's 4.1 liters, so we'll figure that out later. If you can't figure that out, you probably shouldn't be doing the oil change. So actually, I was looking online for oil filter kits, oil change kits for the Yamaha MT10, and obviously they come out with the whole kit. You get 5 of these 10W40 full synthetic Yamalube oil. We're gonna be using this. You get your oil filter to OEM. So to be honest, I bought this at Walmart online because that's where the first thing that popped up when I looked up for a kit was the Walmart one. Comes with a little disposable funnel with an extra additional not gasket, but washer here. We'll be using that too. And that's pretty much it. So let's get to this oil change. Alright, so you do gotta warm up the bike. We'll warm it up to maybe 170 degrees. Engine temp, and then we'll go from there. Turn the volume down a little bit. Alright, we're at about 168 degrees. There you go, 170. So let's drain the oil, and I did jack up the back only. Alright, so right underneath here, there's a 6mm Allen head bolt that you're gonna need to take off. I don't know if you can see it, it's right there, 6mm. You gotta remember these bikes are Japanese, so they're probably metric. So I'm gonna remove that and start draining the oil. I'll see if I get all the oil out, and if I can't, I'll jack up the front too, but I don't think it's a big deal if you don't. Make sure you don't burn your shit, because the exhaust is right there, obviously. Always gotta make a mess. That's where the washer goes. That metal washer goes in here, and I'm gonna have to dump that out and find it. But they give you an extra one with the kit, so. But still, you gotta make sure you put whatever you got off back on. So. Right at 4 quarts, so I got the 6.5 mark quart there, and just a little bit around the 4 quart mark. Alright, so if you guys can see, the oil filter is just right in there. This is the filter here, OEM filter. You can tell it already comes out lubed up a little bit, so you probably don't need to lube it up anymore. Make sure that the other gasket comes off the oil filter, and it's right above the exhaust system here. What do you call it? Shit, I always forget the terms of these fucking names when I need them. But anyways, You probably want to put something under there. That way the oil doesn't drip in there. So I'm just gonna rip this fucking piece of cardboard here. And it's hot as fuck out today. It's gotta be like 95 degrees with heat index of like fucking 300. As soon as I walked into my garage, I was fucking dying, man. See, this shit's hot. It's not too hot, but either way, let's funnel it up a little bit. Now, in case it does drip, it'll just drip over the exhaust here. Is this shit filming? Alright, get yourself a nice little oil wrench here. Oil filter wrench. Man, this shit's fucking tight. Doing maintenance, you always want to make sure. I mean, I guess I've been doing maintenance for a year, like 10 plus years now. So, you know, use some knee pads here. Protect your fucking knees, your hands. Get some gloves because you only got one set of them. So, yeah, see, there's oil coming down. So, worked out perfect there. Just let it drain out slowly. I'll get my fingers all rolly, but that's alright. Wear gloves if you want, not a big deal. Wear gloves at work all the time when I work on the show. Alright, there you go. My Volkswagen Jetta, I just got rid of. Fucking oil filter was so hard to get to. It's like in a cartridge, and you gotta remove that top piece, and then you gotta pull that filter out. It's like a paper filter, but there's no way to really, there's no way to really get the filter out without spilling fucking oil everywhere. So this worked out pretty good. But you guys can see here that the gasket came off with the filter. And actually, let's check if it's the same model. 5GH 1344080. Yep, exact same one. 5GH 1344080. It's already lubed. You don't need to lube it. You can tell by the grease here. I'm just not gonna open it so fucking dirt and shit don't fly in here because it's hot as fuck, but it's windy. So I'm gonna let that drain out for another 5 minutes and then we'll fill it up. Alright guys, so I'm gonna put the oil filter back on. So I did jack it up a little bit to see if any more oil would come out. If you do jack up just the front or just the rear, nothing more came out. It's just a little bit that you're lifting up from the back anyways. So let's get the oil filter back on. Like I said, it's windy as fuck, like a lot of wind's coming in here, so I didn't take the cover off the oil gasket or the oil filter here. Wipe off whatever excess oil is in the fucking frame here of the engine, or whatever you want to call it. Alright, let's hope everything runs smooth when I fucking start this bitch after this. And there's a tiny torque spec, but like everybody does, you don't need to do all that shit. That's just like recommended manufacturer recommendations here because they have to do that shit. So make sure everything's good there. Alright, I'll finish the oil. Make sure you don't cross thread shit. I hate the threads on oil filters, they're real fine. Again, what does everybody say when you're putting on an oil filter? They always tell you, you know, get it hand tightened and then go to like an eighth or a quarter inch or tighter. So, with a wrench, but I'm just gonna do it with my hands because I'm fucking jacked as fuck. No, I'm just kidding. Just because we got some crazy hand strength here from armors. Alright, that should probably be good. We'll run it, obviously, right around in town here a little bit once we get it going. Get everything back on. Yeah, the oil's still dripping. It's always gonna be dripping. You're never gonna get exactly all of it. So let's go on the other side. Put the plug back in. All right, guys. So while I was dumping that one oil pan full, I was dumping into a different pan that was that I used to eventually dump into containers. Show you guys in a minute, but it's not a big deal what kind of pan you use. But I probably should have just used that pan, but sometimes it overfills if it doesn't vent out right, and I didn't want to use it for that instance. But anyways, they give you a paper funnel in this thing. We're gonna use that to fill up the oil here. Put the new O-ring on, or sorry, the washer here, and there's a tiny torque spec for this, so we'll probably eventually do that after I get it on. Oh fuck, getting cramps in the arms. Alright, so let's see what we got here. Still a little bit of oil draining, it's alright. I'm not too worried about what's left in there. Just make sure you don't use an impact or stuff like that when you're doing this type of stuff. You will fuck something up. Just the other day at work, especially stainless steel. If you're using stainless steel, or if you're working with stainless steel bolts and parts that are threaded stainless steel, man, you are prone to just fuck all that up because the steel is so hard and sometimes not brittle, but like it just tends to want to bind on itself, and you will fuck threads up. Once you thread pieces on and you try to unthread them, dude, sometimes they just get seized. All right, got that on. Check the torque specs and then we'll tighten that down to torque. All right, so fucked up. I don't have my 3/8 torque wrench because I remember it broke, and my 1/2 inch torque wrench only starts at 50 or at 30. So it says 17 foot-pounds to tighten to, which is not much. So I'm actually just gonna hand tighten it. That's probably good right there. Like 17 foot-pounds is not a lot. Like it's almost getting it as tight with your ratchet until it can't go, right? Until you feel a lot of tension or some tension, and then you just barely go 1/8 to 1/4 turn. That's about 17 foot-pounds. And now there's an oil sight glass on the other side. I'm not too concerned about that right now because we're just gonna add whatever it says to add per recommended oil amount here. All this dirt. I need to wash this fucking bike, man. Alright, I'm gonna grab my other funnel and then stick that in here and start filling it up. Alright guys, so I fucked up. My funnel that I was gonna use is all dirty and I'm not gonna risk getting shit in the engine, so I have another funnel here, but it's too big. So I'm just gonna do one of these at a time. It takes 4.1 US quarts. Give you 5. So you're gonna have a bunch left. Also too, the engine oil cap here has like a gasket, Make sure that doesn't get messed up because this kit does not come with another one. At least they got all these seals there. Mark the oil safe as nobody tampers with this shit. Hopefully nobody tampers with this and it's exactly what we need. You can just see it's clear. You can see the amount of oil that's in these. That's kind of neat. You don't see that all the time. A lot of people aren't going to have motorcycle lifts, you know. Not everybody works on their motorcycles all the time, so. Or there's not a big motorcycle enthusiastic enough to where you're going to need a lift and have one in your garage for all your motorcycle work. You know, most of the time people just have a bike just to fucking as a toy, as a hobby. Like my boat, I have no fucking idea how engines work on those things, but I can do the tune on it, or the tune-up on it. It's just plug and play stuff, you know. All right, so let's figure out the math on this for that 0.1 quart, and then we'll fill up the rest. All right, guys, so I apologize about that. It's actually 4.33 US quarts. Every one of these is 1 quart, so you can see there. And 0.33 of quarts is 312 milliliters. So I used one of the empty bottles. And 200 milliliters, 300 milliliters. And if you go about half, that's 350. And if you go about half of that, that's 325. And then half of that would be about 312. So, you know, 300, 350. 325, half of that, 312. 312.5 if you do the math right. But I might be over just a tiny bit. I'm gonna dump just a tiny bit out just because I get all anal about that shit. But yeah, do the math right. I fucked up. I should have said 4.1 liters. These are not 1 liter. These are 1 quart. So 1 quart, 4 of these, plus 0.33 US quarts, which is you got the numbers here listed for measurement, but it's in ounces, so you're gonna have to do the math. It's easier if you use milliliters, a little bit more accurate too. So throw this in there. All right, guys. So we're ready to fire this thing up. There's a sight glass here, so you guys can see it. It's super clear right now. It's right here. Let's turn this on and make sure there's no leaks. I let the bike run for 3 minutes, and you can see the oil sight glass right there was full all the way, a little clearer. But once I ran it, it got discolored a little bit, which is fine. And then I dropped it down from the stand because as soon as I started it, the oil sight glass level dropped real low where you couldn't see it no more. And then when I dropped the bike down while it was running, it looks like there's oil in there. No leaks. I'm gonna go drive it for a little bit, and then yeah, that'll be it. And that's how you do the oil change. Remember, it's 4.33 quarts for this, and at 4,000 miles, you do the oil. You don't have to do the filter, but I just did it anyways because it comes with as a kit. So you'll have like 0.66 of oil left in one of the quarts, which you know, if you keep doing the kits, eventually you should have enough oil eventually after like 15,000 miles maybe, that you won't need to buy oil if you just save it all up. And that sums it up for this.